Hey everybody, Jake here for American Trucks, and in this video we're taking a look at the Raxium CXR series LED headlights with black housings and clear lenses, fitting all 2011 to 2016 F-250 and F-350 Super Duties. The CXRs are going to be an excellent choice for the Super Duty owner who's after the most lighting output they can get for the best price. These are an aggressive and modern looking full LED light setup that updates the front end of your truck by packing a ton of output into a really slick package. If you spent any amount of time looking at aftermarket headlights, you know that it's pretty easy to get something that goes maybe a little bit too overboard. The CXR series though keep things a bit more subdued style-wise, and I think these really accentuate the square-jawed appearance that the Super Duties of this generation have, with those angular LEDs around the edges. The black internal housings and simple LED structure make these look like they probably could have been a factory option, but they put out way more light, especially as compared to your standard halogens. Now inside you've got 3 vertical Ice Cube bi-LED projector units. So these are going to function as your high and low beams. The fact that these are projectors means that they have a nice wide beam pattern with a sharp cutoff and a very crisp output. Make no mistake, these things are super bright. They also put out a pretty cool temperature light too, so they're going to be more of the white-ish style as compared to the more yellow factory halogens. And of course you have these other LEDs along the outside as well that are going to function as your daytime running lights and turn signals. These illuminate again a diffused white color, and they're going to switch to amber when you turn your turn signals on. Turn signals are also sequential, which doesn't add anything functionally, but it's always just fun. The outer housings here are made using ABS plastic, which is known and used throughout the automotive industry because it is lightweight and very durable. Much the same is true for the lenses. These are going to be the industry standard polycarbonate, but these ones also feature a UV coating over top for added protection. You also get integrated heat sinks to keep the electronics cool and running properly, and the entire thing is of course sealed to keep out dirt and moisture. So these things should be quite durable. The CXRs also have integrated adjusters on the back, so that means they are DOT and SAE approved, and they are fully street legal. Pricing comes in around $1,450, and that does put them in the higher end of the segment. Make no mistake though, with all the LEDs inside and the output that these have, they are definitely a premium product, and the price is of course going to reflect that. But if you want a well-integrated, good-looking lighting setup for your truck, look no further. They're going to give you all the output, the material quality, and the good looks you get from other big-name brands, but they do undercut the price by quite a large margin. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should only take you about 1 hour to complete. These are a fully plug and play operation, so you don't have to do any wiring. You just gotta plug some stuff in and route a few wires. These will then bolt right in place of your factory lights, so you don't have to modify or do anything else on your truck, and it's a job that you can of course then accomplish at home. So with that, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through it.
For this install, you will need an impact, a 10mm socket, flathead screwdriver, and some needle nose pliers. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing some headlights on our F-250, so let's get started. Alright, so our first step is going to be obviously to open the hood, and we've got 4 10mm bolts holding the top of our grill in place. We're going to need to remove those so we can start to remove our grill first. So we've got our 10mm socket on our impact, we'll get in there and pop those out. So now we'll pop our 4 bolts out. That'll bring the top of our grill forward. Next, we're going to need to pull forward on our grill to reach the bottom of our grill, because there are clips holding the bottom in place that we'll need a flathead screwdriver to push down on and release, and then our grill will come out. Just pop those down. They're all along the bottom of the grill. Once you release those, you can pull your grill. Now we can start removing our headlight itself. Now we've got some 10mm screws holding this in as well. We're going to start with our top 1, and then we've got 2 on the inside. So we'll get those out with our 10mm socket on our impact. We'll pop our top screw off first. And we'll get our 2 inside ones. Now we'll get our 2 inside screws. Now you should also have 1 more screw down on the lower outside of your headlight. Unfortunately, ours have been lost to time due to many previous times of this being on and off, but you should definitely get in there. You might need an extension along with your 10mm to get in there and pop that one out. Then once you have that out, we're ready to pull our headlight assembly out. So to do that, we're just going to grab it and pull it straight out. You do have a locator tab back here. Then we're gonna just disconnect our lights. Now we're actually gonna pull our lights completely out. So we'll give these a quarter turn counterclockwise to unseat them. Just like so. We're gonna do that for all of our bulb assemblies. Now we can pull our headlight and set it aside. Now once you have this one out, you can do the same thing for the other side. So now we come to our fuse box, which is on the driver's side next to our brake booster master cylinder. And to get this lid off, it's got 2 pinch tabs on the front. Just pinch that. I have to wiggle it out a little bit. Sometimes these don't like to go. Pull that lid off, set that aside. We're going to be looking for fuse number 50, which if you come to the back row, it's going to be this 10 amp fuse right here. Now if you have a fuse puller, you want to use that, or a set of needle nose pliers will do. Just be gentle, grab that fuse, pop that out. Now you want to keep this because it's always good to have spare fuses around. We're going to take our provided fuse tap, go right in where that fuse came out. Route our harness out and around our fuse box. Now when doing this at home, you can notch out a section of the side of your fuse box to have this sit more flush. For demonstration purposes, we're not going to notch ours out. But once you have that in, you want to set your fuse box lid back on and lock that back into place. Next, you're going to need to route your connectors for your DRL harness. Now it's going to have a shorter and a longer tail. The shorter one's going to go obviously to the driver's side. So we'll get that down into our headlight area. Tuck that down through so we have adequate space to connect it, and then we'll run the other side to the passenger side. So for these headlights, we're not going to be reusing the factory bulbs or connectors. Sockets rather, so we're going to unplug these. So we'll just push down on our tabs, get these popped out. And set these aside. Now we can get ready to plug in our connectors to our new headlight. Now one thing I want to mention is these headlights do have a sequential or solid turn signal function. That's going to be controlled by this connector with the green and purple wire. If it's plugged in as it is here, that's going to be a sequential function. If you unplug this, you will have a solid turn signal function. So it's just going to blink on and off. So depending on how you want to run it, you want to have this plugged in or unplugged. So we'll grab our connectors, starting with our DRL harness connector. That's going to go into this plug here. Then the rest of our connectors are going to go into these factory style ones that come on our harness. Make sure those are all the way seated. Once you get those all plugged in, we can set our headlight into place. Make sure to line up your locator in the back. Next, we can reinstall our factory mounting hardware with our 10mm socket. We'll start with our 2 on the inside. Then we'll get our top one in. Now once you have this headlight in, you can repeat this same process for the other side, and we can reinstall our grille. So we'll set our grille in place by lining up our bottom tabs. Get that set in flush, and give a firm push on the bottom of our grille. Once those are locked in, we'll reinstall our 4 10mm screws up top. Now we'll get our 4 10mm screws back in place.
That's going to wrap it up here for our review and install the Raxium CXR series LED headlights with black housings and clear lenses, fitting all 2011 to 2016 F250 and F350 Super Duties. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, for all things Super Duty, be sure to keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.